Yo, what is good, y'all? It's Juko back with another tutorial for y'all. I'm gonna show y'all some Wheezy vibes, how to make some Wheezy loops from scratch. I'm gonna break down a loop I already made. It's like a brass, kind of has some pad in the background, strings, super energetic type of loop. Yeah, we just gonna get straight into this breakdown. Hope y'all enjoy. Let's go. Alright, so the first sound we got, or the sounds I use in this one, is I use brass, strings, omnisphere, strings, and a bass. So a lot of brass string sounds for the most part, and a little bit of pad in the background. But yeah, let's get into the first sound. I'll play you guys the MIDI right here. This is the brass. I'll let you guys listen to it. So MIDI's pretty simple. Started off with a normal chord that's like, started off with just like a simple brass chord. Then right here, I kind of did something a little different. So if we remove these two notes in between, like the little I don't even know what you would call these, like little small chords, like that give it like, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you like brass loops, they're like these little stabs. We could call them stabs. So if we listen to it without the muted notes, it sounds like this. So it's really simple, right? It's like right? So it's like, okay, cool, but to spice it up, I literally just found two notes in between to give it more of a rhythm, which is right here and here, these two notes. So if you listen to it now, it sounds a lot different. So just those two notes alone give it like more energy to the loop, in my opinion. So yeah, I did that. Then I just repeated the same chord again, and then the last chord I switched it up a little more to give it some more variation. I'll let you guys listen to it. So what I did is I took this note and I dropped it one down, and I took this, dropped it two down, kept this, and I added this little note and these two notes right there. Just gave it like a, I just changed the chord from the original chord, lowered it a little bit. Just find shit that sounds hard. I don't know theory, so I just be finding chords that sound hard, and it sounded hard with this. So yeah, that was it. This top note isn't necessary, but I liked it. I liked how it sounded on every other bar. So that's what I did for the first 5. Moving on to here, I kind of switched it up. What I did is I added a little bottom note under right here. So for every chord, the only difference between the first 5 bars and this are these notes that I'm highlighting right here. I added these notes underneath the chord. So I'll let you guys listen to the second part. Super simple. Like, I just took these notes to give it like a different vibe for the second part, so it's kind of more of that anthem type of vibe. But yeah, other than that, that was the brass MIDI. So moving on to the strings. Lastly, for the brass, I'll show you guys the sound I use. So this is SRX brass. This is from the same VST I use in other videos where I use my strings. It's the same company, just for their brass. This is one of my favorite brass plugins. The number 4 preset is literally my go-to trumpet preset, so y'all can go cop that or get this plugin. Shit's crazy. Okay, moving on to the strings, I'll let you guys listen to the MIDI first. So with the strings, what I literally did is, so if you listen to the brass and then if you look at the string MIDI, the only difference between this and the other MIDI I showed you is I took the chords and I put them in, like, I repeated them 3 times, so it gave like the string momentum. So if I would have just done this, which is what the brass is, it doesn't sound hard. You gotta give strings that you put like staccato strings, you gotta give them like some bounce. So I went. That sounds really good behind like a brass. So it's the same MIDI, it's just I repeated the notes. When there was like a chord, I just broke it into thirds. So that's why it kind of looks a little more complicated. But other than that, it's the same MIDI basically. So the string I use is from SRX, same company, Roland SRX, just the string. This is just the string VST, and it was the 5th preset. Okay, so moving on to the pad, the omnisphere pad, I'll let you guys listen to the MIDI. this was an Omnisphere, obviously. This is the brass MIDI copy and pasted, so there's nothing different to this MIDI. I'm gonna show you guys the sound I used. It was called the Health Pad in the third-party libraries patch. So Health Omnisphere pad. If you guys are interested in getting this pad, y'all can probably find it. But yeah, this is the pad I used. This pad sounds really hard. Like there's a lot of effects. If I go to effects right here, well, it only has one effect, but I guess that effect really carries this pad because I didn't put much effects of my own on this pad. It already sounded good. So that's why I love Omnisphere. It has so many hard pads that already have hard effects on them. But yeah, that was it. That was it for the pad. Now moving on, we have another string sound that I put in the background. I'll let you guys listen to the MIDI right now. So this string MIDI is pretty self-explanatory. It's just right, and then I just repeated it, and then obviously I just bring it up, control up arrow to pitch it up an octave for the second part of the MIDI. So yeah, the string I used was number 11 from same VST SRX strings. So yeah, that was the string. Super simple. Moving on to the last thing I added is this synth bass. So you can get these basses from pretty much any one-shot kit. Yeah, this is just like one of the most common synth basses, but I'll let you guys listen to the pattern. So with this MIDI, it's a super simple bass. I just followed the root notes of the brass. But a little tip, if you guys don't know how I did these little slides, all you do is take a note, and then if you look at my mouse right here, you click this little glide button, and it'll make it have like this little triangle on the note. And then what you do is, if you want it to glide really quick, the more you shorten it, the quicker the glide will be. And that's pretty much it for the glides. So yeah, I just copied the bass notes and added some glides to give it some more flavor. But that was it, like for the bass, that was it. So yeah, that's all the 5 sounds I used. I'll let you guys listen to, like I always do, listen to the 5 sounds, and then we'll go into the effects, and then I'll show you guys what I did post rendering. So y'all get the point. Really hard already. So then I'm gonna just quickly go through the effects I used for each sound. So first we got the what's it called? We got the first sound, which is the brass. Only things I added was EQ, which I slightly boosted the highs, and then we got a reverb, and I just put some wet on it. That's it. Moving on to the strings. For the strings, I just took the lows out for the EQ, and then I added some reverb, some wet reverb. Didn't touch anything else, sounded pretty hard. Moving on to the Omnisphere pad, I'll let you guys listen to it real quick. So for this, I took a lot of highs, a lot of mids, and a lot of lows, so I really had to EQ this, but it sounded hard after I EQ'd it. Reverb, put some wet on it, that's it. Moving on to the other strings I used, this is how it sounds with the effects. So yeah, I added reverb, and then I added EQ, literally all I do on these sounds. Lastly, the bass. For the bass, I just took the highs out because it's a bass. You just want low end. But yeah, that was it for the effects. So then what I did is I took these sounds, rendered them out, and then it sounded like this. I didn't even touch the pitch, so literally this was the final product. So yeah, y'all get the point. There's some sections in here I want to go through real quick. So obviously not the whole thing is brass. So there's a part where it's just string. There's a part where I took the bass out, of course. And then there's a part at the end where it's just the pad. I just always, with my loops, I don't stem out my loops necessarily, but I at least try to like obviously give the person that's doing the drums options. So I like obviously take some stuff out and put some other stuff in, whatever, throughout the loop. And then yeah, so I just took the strings out. Yeah, I just try to give them options. Some people want to stem the whole loop out, which is fine. I just don't do that, but I just take some stuff out. Like towards the end, I usually gradually take stuff out the loop. That's how I do my stuff. But yeah, that was the loop, pretty simple. Now we finna add some drums to it, and let's go. Alright, so we got the loop I made, or I just broke down, laid out on FL, and now I'm just gonna quickly mix, put the obviously my master effects on it, and then I'm gonna quickly add drums to it, and let's go. Alright, so I just did all the drums. Now I'm gonna do a little little section where I make it like a really cool clap pattern. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do in a second. Let's make a clap unique. Let me make a unique clap for this. But yeah, that beat hard as fuck, bro. I'm gonna let the beat play again in the outro. Hope y'all enjoyed this quick little beat sample breakdown cook up thing. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe, like this shit. Also, kit just dropped. Me and Max kit just dropped. Once again, this loop is also in that kit. But yeah, make sure to cop. Link, well, the video's already out. Y'all can see it on my page. But yeah, make sure to cop that. Yeah, subscribe, all that. Doing more tutorials soon, and I'm out. Peace.